Thank you, Stella. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone, and welcome to the BACP and Power Hour in December of 2023. I'm Ken Meyer, Commissioner for the Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection. And as you know, our goal is to help businesses and consumers get the information they need to succeed by sharing advice and stories from our Chicago's very own entrepreneurs. It is the holiday season, excuse me, and with that comes being charitable and giving. Today's guest brings holiday cheer to many, not just during the holiday seasons, but all year round. Our guest is Cassandra Lewis, Chief Executive Director of Christmas Every Day. How appropriate is that? And I bet Christmas Every Day has a better ring to it, like in July.
Yeah.
So good afternoon, Cassandra, and thanks for joining us. Before we get into the business of asking some questions, why don't you just take a moment, take your time, and tell our attendees a little bit about yourself and the journey that kind of got the two of us here today.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Happy holidays, blessed holidays. My name is Cassandra Lewis. I am the Executive Director of Christmas Every Day. So a little bit about me. My background is theater and film. And my background's theater and film. I'm an entrepreneur. I started small businesses, Cassandra's Closet. I opened my own record company. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a really good friend. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm a stylist on different sets. Also, I work with Mark Maddox. He is the talent buyer for Buddy Guy. So I'm his assistant. We find talent. Also, I'm a professional boxing judge. I've been in boxing since 2017, and I turned pro 2 years ago. But we're here to talk about Christmas Every Day. The name Christmas Every Day comes from commemoration of Jesus Christ. You know, God gave us the ultimate gift in Jesus. And I was raised, my parents taught us to be of service, to be generous. Even if you don't have a lot, you can still give a little. And if you have a little, maybe you can do a lot. So it comes from that, just being of service to help those in need, those who are a little downtrodden, who can use a helping hand. I saw a need in the community, and we struck out to do something.
That's a great start. I appreciate that. How does Christmas Every Day select the gifts for recipients? And do you rely solely on donations, or do you have partnerships with brands?
So the way we select the gifts to give, it's the season and the reason, right? So this time of year, the season, it's cold. So we put our minds together and we come up with a list of things that homeless people, displaced people, unhoused, migrants, what they would need to survive this weather living outside. And we'll come up with coats and hats and different things. We make a list of hearty foods that can last and sustain them for a few days. We go into underserved communities. There are lots of people who have food insecurities and live in food deserts. So we make sure that we see our senior citizens and children who are just having a hard time. We believe in taking care of the parent, because the parent has to take care of the child, because it's a unit. So we put all of that together, and that's how we decide the season and the reason. If they're young ladies, we know they need certain things. Young ladies need certain special items. So we look at the situation and we give according to what we know they need to sustain themselves. As far as donations, we do rely solely on donations and partnerships. We do with GAGGC. They've been absolutely incredible to us. But yeah, that's how we do it.
And yeah, so how do you go about selecting your donation partners? Tell us a little bit about that networking. And I wonder, a lot of folks today listening are either entrepreneurs, or a lot of folks maybe small business owners. And I wonder if it's kind of similar if I'm opening up my own store and I'm looking like, okay, what am I going to put on my shelves? Similarly to you have to find that partnership for your donation.
Yeah, well, because we work with lots of food, we feed lots of people, we clothe lots of people. So someone like Walmart, I've worked with them. They decided to work hand in hand with me. Walmart, Sam's Club, and once again, GADC. We choose how we are aligned, basically, and we have the same goal to service the community. But that's how I do it. I just choose those who we are on the same page, and that would be the Walmarts and the Sam's Clubs and GAGDC.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And then
Yeah.
so now it's obviously the holiday season, the actual Christmas season, holiday season. How do you shift then, like when it gets into springtime, summertime, or back to school time even?
Okay, so with springtime and summertime, we just same thing, but we change what we get. So in the springtime, they would need more. Our homeless people in need, they need more light clothing. So we'll deal with things that are lighter in clothing. We'll back just food that the food is always food that is sustainable. So we'll get foods that they can carry with them for 3 to 4 days. They're travelers. The majority of people that I deal with being homeless and unhoused, they're travelers. So we always make sure that they have things that is easy to take along with them. The waters, the food, the clothing. That's pretty much how we do it. We change according to the season. As back to school, we were fortunate enough to partner with GAGDC, and we participated with the back to school festivities, backpacks, school supplies, toiletries, things like that. And I also do this thing called the weekend woohoo bag, because a lot of children need, yeah, weekend woohoo, because a lot of children need food over the weekend. Some children have a hard time having good food for the weekend. So we put together a bag of snacks and proteins that they can take home with them, like a weekend backpack kind of thing, so they can sort of have a picnic over the weekend, so it doesn't seem so harsh, because a lot of them do depend on the lunches at school.
No, that's beautiful, and I appreciate that. How do you measure a successful donation distribution? And for you, just personally, is it based on quantity, or is it based more on the joy you're seeing in people receiving the donation?
I love the people receiving the donations. I think it's both. I think they go hand in hand, because the more I receive and the more I get in, the more I can give and the more we can distribute. The joy to see a mom shed a tear because she has something clean for her and her children to wear, or something lovely for her and her children to eat. That touches your heart. That's beautiful.
Oh, no, I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Since Christmas every day operates all year round, as we mentioned,
Yes.
um, is this time of year when everyone's kind of charitable and giving for all the various holidays that happen in December, is this your busiest time of year, or is it really kind of throughout?
I'm busy throughout, but this time of year is really, really busy, because we're looking at, the donations part of it, getting more things in, getting more things out. And I think this time of year is bittersweet. It's a beautiful time of year, but it's very sad for some people. So I think reflecting over the year, and hopes for the new year to bring a better life for themselves. I think Christmas is the most it's all meaningful and it's all important, but Christmas is so special, I think, because it ends the year. And what have we accomplished? What have we done? Where am I at? Where am I going? So Christmas is definitely, I would say, the busiest time out of all the year. Yeah, Christmas is absolutely
Okay.
busiest.
And reflect back to us from when you first started the nonprofit. What was your intent to have it be all year round, or did you kind of start out slower around, around the Christmas time?
No, I started out, yeah, I was saddles ablazing. I wanted to go out every day and save the world. I was like, we're gonna go every week, we're gonna feed the world, and and then reality kicks in. You're like, okay, slow down. You can't go out every day. You can't, because you can't. So it started out, I would go out pretty much several days a week, just because I only had so much to give, right? So if I had 20 meals, I would go out twice a week, right? So I can give 10 meals here, I can give 10 meals there. Tiny but mighty, doesn't matter. You take what you got and you work with it. And then it grew. I can give out 200 meals. I can give out, over a period of time, a couple thousand meals. I can make these incredible these care packages, these gift bags of delicious food, and with toiletries and things that they need. And eventually we got a chance to go all over the city, different areas, and serve way more people than I ever thought we would be able to. But in the beginning, And even now, because we're still growing, we're still on a journey. I'm not there yet. You know, we're as Miss Norma at GAGDC, not yet, but I'm on my way, but not yet. And so yeah, it started tinier, smaller, and we're still small, but we're tiny but mighty. We do get out there and we take care of a lot of people.
Yeah, and I just appreciate your energy. I know just your nature and your energy is going to also just help you really promote this great nonprofit, right? Just to get more donations and be able to expand that, you know, to a level that you're comfortable with and that you're able to still be successful.
Thank you, thank you. I receive all of that, Ken. Give me more. I love it.
Okay, so I want to just transition a little bit because you listed off at the top of the hour a lot of different industries and very interesting backgrounds from theater and the arts and what have you. What in your past life, in your past professional life, do you think kind of set you up for running this nonprofit? Because I always say, and I told you we were just kind of talking one-on-one ourselves, that running a nonprofit is very much like running a small business.
Absolutely.
So just tell the folks listening today just a little bit about your experience in the past and how that kind of led to your being so successful today.
Well, you know, the thing about it is coming from the world of the arts and coming from a big family, 7 brothers, 2 sisters, 12 total. I'm used to hearing the word no. So hearing I hear no all the time. So what I believe is no today means maybe tomorrow. So I took the creativity, just being creative and being steadfast and being diligent, and I brought that to this business that no only means maybe tomorrow. It doesn't mean no to it's no for today, but it's maybe for tomorrow. So I
Yeah.
always taken that. And with GAGDC, they have a network where they help you develop your business, you know. So taking that to them as well will help me be a better businesswoman as well. But my past, just being creative, being hard head, never taking no seriously.
Yeah.
I never take no, and I never took myself seriously. You know, it's just part of the journey. It's okay to not get everything I want in the beginning, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be successful. You have to believe it, meditate on it, speak it into existence, and go for it.
Okay,
Never take never.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. Let's break that down just even a little bit further. So many of our attendees, and it's one of the things I say repeatedly, probably the number one question we're always asked here at BACP, particularly for entrepreneurs, small businesses seeking capital to either start a business, you know, or enhance or even expand their business, or a nonprofit for that matter, right? What were some of your financial obstacles when you first kind of got started? What did you face? And what advice and tips can you offer for someone who is having these issues, getting a loan to open their business, or like, where do I start? You know, I lifted up the cushions underneath the couch, but they only found $1.50 in quarters.
And less.
So I'll let you take it from there.
As far as when you hear no a lot.
How did you get started? How'd you get that financial? What was the kind of the first financial oomph for you and the nonprofit? You know, to be able to open up your doors, get your website going, get the donations in, get the bank accounts going, and ultimately be able to deliver.
Yeah, for me, I started with people I knew. This is seriously, this is grassroots 100%. I started with people I knew. And then after that, I went to the banks and I had conversations with people at the banks. What do I need? What do I need to look like what do I need to do to get you to fund me? So you take this information and then you apply it. But also, what I would do, I did so many things because it's like there was no money. When you are denied, just the transparency of why and what do I need to do to fix that so that I can have some money to do what it is I'm trying to do. That's what and as far as never give up, just never give up, never never stop. I would go to the banks and talk to them, have those conversations and find out how do I become what it is I need to become to receive this money, because they will have conversations with you and go through financial planning and show you what needs to be done. Those things are there. And once again, find places like GAGDC, they really help small businesses and entrepreneurs how to prioritize and make things tangible, to
Yeah.
go sit down and have those conversations, because they can happen, but there is a process. So one of my bigger donations just in the industry, working with different ones, GAGDC, Walmart, writing those grants, filling out the paperwork, and presenting as Ray Thompson, he's over at GAGDC. Tell the story, right? Tell the story of who you are, what you are, and what you're about, and someone will. I believe that someone will hear you, and someone will get it and give you a shot, because it happened for me.
Yeah, no, that's great. I also know you were part of our BACP Nonprofit Capacity Building program. Tell us why you joined and what you've learned through that experience.
Oh my gosh, a plethora of knowledge to go in there and get a formal, real education in how to do this thing. Um, GAGDC, they share the information, and they champion you on. After you talk to them, and after you spend time with them, you feel that you can just go out and get a grant for a bajillion, gazillion dollars. You really do. What they've done for me, um, just building the nonprofit from ground up, teaching me how to ascertain, giving you the tools and giving you the materials to actually build your nonprofit. When I go to the webinars, they're fantastic. To talk to me and tell me step by step how to apply, what to say, what not to say, in the sense of tell the story and stick to your mission, and how to find grants that align with your mission. I went to they had a workshop the other day, and to sit there and take in all this information, it was phenomenal, because it sharpens your awareness on what you need to know, and it makes you, it empowers you, it gives you the tools. I would say everyone should actually do these webinars and these workshops, because they've made me, they've empowered me.
That is beautiful. I think I may use this little clip from you to be our PSA to get more
Okay.
people. No, that's
I
so
mean,
powerful, very powerful stuff.
and I mean it, and I mean it. Yeah, it's
No, I
from
know
my
you
heart.
do.
Yeah, I do.
Let me ask you this. We have partnerships, BACP has partnerships with over 70 neighborhood business development centers across the Chicago, such as our chambers of commerce. And I know you work a lot with the Greater Auburn Gresham Development Corp. Have you worked with these folks before? Or tell me a little bit more about working with them and networking, and just for the listeners today, as to how important that's been for you, and how that's helped you, maybe networking and obviously giving great advice.
Networking is everything, because what networking does for you, you become stronger. You build, you go from a little molehill to a mountain. Networking is so important. I can't even stress it enough, because what happens is the person that you're networking with, if you guys are aligned, and they have information and you have information and you combine it, you get greater. Working with GAGDC started for me a year ago, and it has been the most, I've learned more in the past year taking these webinars. I've learned more in the past year just going to this workshop. It has really taken me and our organization, because we're one and the same, me and Christmas Every Day, to the next level, because it's a family. We are a family. Christmas Every Day is a family nonprofit. So it's me and my daughter, and it's my brother, and we work together to help the community. And getting all of this information, and they break it down in layman's terms. They make it very simple to understand how to properly go out here and build your nonprofit. So I can't say enough what I've learned in the past year alone that has taken, I believe, our nonprofit from trying to figure out and unclutter the puzzle in our mind, because and to learn the jargon of what does this mean? What does that mean? Because it's a different language.
Yeah.
And they've educated us, they've given us knowledge, and I can't say enough about them.
No, that's awesome. I appreciate that. So networking also helps get your word out about the nonprofit, which helps you with bringing in your donations, bringing in the stuff you're going to ultimately donate to folks, probably also raising money. Tell us how social media has changed and how does that promote your nonprofit, help you just kind of get the word out to a broader audience, and maybe just kind of explain a little bit about your original kind of marketing strategy, maybe even some of these webinars have helped, and how your strategy has changed
Okay.
since launching Christmas Every Day.
So originally, I started this in 2012, 2013. And I was social media. I don't know if I
10
don't
years.
even, sorry.
About 10 years.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
started this in 2013. Yeah.
Yeah.
So social media, I didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't even a thing. Like, I don't know. You know what I would do? I would go out in the neighborhoods and give things away and help people, tell them who we were. We were doing this before we became a nonprofit, and then we became we started in 2011. Social media, I don't know what that was, but we would go in the neighborhoods and give things away. And people will talk about you. People will say, "Hey, that lady will, she has some good food."
That lady.
That lady, right? That's who I was, the lady with the good food. And so I had good food and I had warm clothes and all these beautiful things. And I always present it in a beautiful way. I don't treat people, I never dehumanize. You treat people the way you want to be treated. The golden rule is real and for me. And not only do I treat people the way I want to be treated, I treat people the way I treat myself, which is fantastic. So I love on people. So that's how it started. I would go out and they would say, "Hey, that lady, she has food on Thursdays and Sundays. That lady's giving out things for the kids on Mondays and and that's how Christmas Every Day really became. Then I started working with Jesse Brown, VA.
Yep.
And yeah, I did a lot of work with Jesse Brown, VA. And you're taking me back down memory lane. It's like I forgot all this stuff. Jesse Brown. I worked with Heinz. I would take lots of things over because there's lots of homeless veterans and people who are having a hard time. And they would just talk about it. Neighborhood churches, they would just talk about it. And that's how I became. That's how it got out about me. But then social media comes. Okay, here we go. And so then you figure out, making the videos showing behind the scenes what we do. From shopping, how we shop and how we put the packages together, my daughters and I, and how we work and how I drop things off and the different locations we go to. I just let them follow the journey. I let them be a part of it and see what we were doing because it brings people in. And I would get donations from that. Then in the boxing community, people would see what I'm doing. Once in a while you call the ex and say, "Hey, make a donation," and things like that.
That's great. Now, I'm being funny, but is your
Okay.
hashtag that lady?
Yes, it should be, right? No, no, listen, hey, Kenny, that lady with the good food.
Right. Right. So we're in December, the middle of the holiday shopping season. I did privately tell you I haven't even started yet.
Yes.
How is Christmas Every Day encouraging consumers, late shoppers, to shop locally and give back locally?
You know what? I've always shopped locally. I don't even know any other way to shop. I would say just go in because if you support your community, you support yourself. When you support local business, you're supporting yourself. It's because we're family. We're all connected, whether we believe it or not. We are. So I just encourage everyone to just go to your local stores, the mom and pop shops, the bigger stores, the smaller stores. Stay local because we have a lot of wonderful things locally.
Yeah, no, that's great. That is great. Well, thank you very much about sharing your nonprofit journey and also just kind of about your personal journey. I want to transition a little bit and just kind of ask you some fun questions. And then if there's time allowed, and if you got time, because I know it's busy, we'll see if there's some questions for you from our audience in the chat. But from me, What's been the most memorable donation?
So giving or receiving? We'll do both?
Let's do both. Yeah.
Let's do both. Let's do both. Okay. Giving, and it's always giving to, for me, a mom, myself, giving to that mother and that child, or that father and that child. But when I see that unit, and I always make sure, like I said earlier, I give something to that parent, because that parent has to take care of that child, right? But to give it to that mom, and she hugs you and she cries, you fall apart,
Yeah.
because it could easily be you. It's nothing is so far-fetched that it can't be you. And so to be able to connect as women, as sisters, because we're all sisters and we're all connected. And even with the homeless man, he was like, I was so hungry. Thank you, sister. Thank you for giving me this. That touches you. That it breaks you down a little bit, because it's so easy for anyone to end up in a bad position. Everyone in a bad position did not say, hey, let me go put myself in a bad position. And so for me, the giving up to the mother, and she cries and the baby laughs, the crying mother and the laughing baby, that is just for me. And whatever I give them, and I always give them beautiful things, that's special for me.
And you remember the most memorable donation you received to give out?
The most memorable donation I received, okay, it's a couple things. So GAGDC, wonderful donation, wonderful gift to help my organization. I received a plaque from Hines, from Jesse Brown Veterans Hospital. They awarded me these beautiful plaques, to me and my daughters in our organization, for the work that we do. So to receive that from the veterans who have served and protected us, and we say thank you to them, and for them to say thank you to me, you can't even make that up, so you can't beat it. So they said, someone that we thank all the time and protect and serve us said thank you to me, my daughters, Christmas Every Day, the organization. Blew me away.
That's a beautiful story.
Thank you
For that. Okay, when you're not running your nonprofit, which I know you're very passionate about, and I bet it's 24/7 for you, but what do you like to do to relax? How do you just kind of unwind from it? Or do you?
I like to sleep.
That's your hobby. I sleep.
I like a good old nap. I like to take care of me. I like to relax, unwind. I'm into apothecary and holistic medicine and traditional medicines and things like that. So I like to get in the kitchen. My daughter called me a witch doctor and a hippie, but I like to make fire cider. I like to I love making fire cider. I love making tinctures. I love blending teas and herbs and drinking them and sustaining myself. I love to love on me. I love to take a little time to take care of me. Doesn't happen often, but I get those naps. I get them.
As a webinar is entitled Empower Hour, please share a piece of advice, and you've really your whole half hour has been empowering others. But tell us how what advice you can share with all of us to empower our attendees.
Yeah, I would say stay prayed up and stay steadfast and never give up. Believe in yourself, believe in your organization, and stay true to the mission. Never give up. Never. And no is just no today means maybe tomorrow. Never forget that either. So no is never no.
Well, I've not known you very long, but I'm thinking inspirational speaker could be like the next thing on your resume.
Candid, from your mouth to God's ears. Let's do it.
Can you stay a little bit longer? Let's see if we have some questions from our audience.
I would love to.
Okay. And before we go, let's give everyone a moment to get their pens and the paper out, and please share with us your website and your social media, because it really is not hashtag that lady.
That lady with the good food. It's Christmas Every Day. So I'm going to abbreviate it for you. So C like cat, E like elephant, D like dolphin, the number 247.
Okay.
What is it? CED247.org. ORG. Yeah. CED, which means Christmas every day, the numbers 247.org. And all of my social media is on the end.
That's great. That is
One-stop shopping.
that is great. Hey, thank you so much for really a very inspirational afternoon. And I just appreciate, you know, with the nonprofit, it's just so important. I mean, it's a different niche, right, than selling goods or opening up a restaurant, but just the same, it is a small business in its own right.
Yes.
So I just want to thank you. Merry Christmas, since it's in your title. And Stella, how are we doing with questions from our attendees?
Yeah, we have 3 questions. The first question is, what is your growth plan for your nonprofit? How do you plan to grow it?
Well, of course, with funding. Also, our plan is to grant funding, of course, to attain a building. And also, we are going to get a Christmas Everyday caravan. So it's a Christmas Everyday food truck caravan, and we're going to travel. It's easier to travel around Illinois, and we can be of more service with that. Also, one of my girlfriends, she is a doctor, and we are in the talks of, once again, just acquiring a building and a one-stop help center for health and for supplies that one may need, to groceries, food, clothing, and health. So we are working on that right now. We're talking about it. So that's one of our plans.
That's
One
great.
of many.
Okay, next question. How do you initiate the donation process?
How do I initiate the donation process? As far as giving donations, how do I initiate? How do I receive?
I bet they're asking, like, how do you receive it? You're knocking on doors, cold calling. I'm just interpreting.
Okay. Grant writing, knocking on doors, cold calling, sending out emails, smoke signals. We ask friends, we ask families, but we also write the grants. We inquire with different companies, may it be personal, corporate. We just send out letters. We send out request letters. We fill out grants information, and we send that in. We ask personal friends and family. The fundraisers, we'll do like a bake off kind of thing. We will sell dinners. We do it all. Like, we do whatever we can to make it happen, because we are small, you know. We're not mighty. We're not big yet, but we are mighty. And so we do it all. We do everything we can to make funds come in, from corporate asking, grant writing, as well as creating fundraisers to help us make money. And we always ask.
And with grant writing, you say it's so easy. It is a little bit of an art of its own to put together a really good grant. Also, I just assume with the expectation that you may not get the grant. You were trained in theater, so you know, right? You go out for the audition, knocked out of the park, right? But you didn't get the part. So is there a little bit of synergy between that part of your previous life and today, with the kind of just, it's great when it's a win, but also just knowing that it's not the end of the world if someone says no. Yeah,
when they say no, I just go at it again. Yeah. I pivot. I make changes. I stay true to the mission. I stay true to what our mission is, but I just make the changes and I don't stop. And as I said before, a no today is a maybe tomorrow. I just don't quit. And no one can deter me. Even with Mr. Ray Thompson, he was talking about city grants and how to go about filling out the paperwork. And one thing he did say was, tell your story. I just don't believe in quit, Kenneth. I just don't believe in quit. I believe that it is doable. I just have to make the changes and alterations to make it happen. And no, I hear no a lot. Like I said, I'm from the entertainment world. I hear no all the time. I have a big family. I hear no all the time, but that doesn't mean that I'm done. I just keep at it. I don't.
Now, is it really no, or can I just get a little bit, or should I ask you for less money?
Right. Yeah. Well, I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay, since we're talking about grants, do you write your own grants or do you have a grant writer?
We write our own. We write our own grants. We do not have a grant writer. And that's where GAGDC came in to play really big time. When I said the past year has really changed our life and changed the dynamic of our nonprofit, is because they have these webinars, and they have these workshops where you go in and you are literally given sound advice and knowledge on how to properly fill them out and respond and be successful. So yes, absolutely, we do it ourselves. My daughter and I, we do it ourselves.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you are denied a grant, do they tell you why?
You know, when they deny the grant, the one that we received, there wasn't a why. And that's another thing I think they need to work on is, please explain why, or maybe tell me why so that I can make those adjustments. Let me know what I need to do on my end to make it tangible for us. So no, I would like for them to be a bit more not so vague, not so vague. Yeah, that would help. That would be helpful because then I could do better.
One more question.
Sure, thank you.
What was the process to getting a 501c3?
Okay.
Good question.
So,
Really good question.
Yeah, very good question. So let me tell you what happened. All right, here's the story. I went and applied for a not-for-profit. The not-for-profit that I didn't know what I was doing. I knew I had a vision and a mission, but I didn't know how to do it. The nonprofit, I went and talked to my accountant, and we sat down and we read over the paperwork and we filled it out together. Because when I can't do something, I have no problem with going to get the help that I need. My accountant, we filled out the paperwork, we sent everything into the government, and she told me, okay, it's gonna take about, she said this, over a year to get a response because I'm not a church, I'm not a hospital, I'm just a girl from the South Side of Chicago with a dream and a vision. That's it. So, but because I have been doing the work, and there's certain things that you have to do. There's paperwork that says, hey, okay, why should we give you this? What have you done already to get to that we should grant you a 501c3? What have you done in this work that you're saying that you want to do? And so we'll give you before we give you this 501c3. So I'm learning as I go, right? I'm learning, and I say, okay, what have I done? But I had already given out so many incredible gifts. We had already fed so many people. We had already been doing the work before we applied for the 501c3. So I got like 200 letters from different people that we had serviced and given things to. I took those 200 letters. I gave it to my accountant, and I would say, if you don't know how to do it yourself, just talk to someone who does, and we can discuss that. We can talk afterwards if you want. We can talk now, but GAGDC, their plethora of knowledge. I sent in the 200 letters with all the paperwork that they had required, and in 9 months they said yes. In 9 months, so it went from over a year that I would hear anything to 9 months because I had already done so much in the community. I had already done the work before I even applied for the 501c3. Just apply. Just if you don't know how, there's websites. Go to the website. I think it's someone else. I'm sorry.
Secretary of State's office, I would guess.
Yeah, go there, get the paperwork, fill it out, and just go through each step. But like I said, I went to my accountant because she's a numbers girl and she knows how to do certain things that I just didn't know how to do. So I just grabbed everybody around me that knew how to do things, and we made it happen. Oh, what's that?
Hey, I appreciate the accountant who's like, okay, I know Cassandra. I'm gonna lower her expectations. It's gonna be a long time before she gets that nonprofit status.
Yeah.
And, you got it sooner than you really thought. So that was kind of smart on her part too.
Yeah, you know what? It was we just combined our efforts. It was just a combined effort thing. But that's what I did. I just filled out the paperwork and I put together, but they tell you what they want from you. They say, send this, send that, this is what we need to see. And I sent it, but I went and got those letters. And I think those letters that I had already been doing the work really helped push it along. I believe so, because I was doing the work way before I became a 501c3.
Yeah.
So I think just, I would say fill out the paperwork and do exactly as they say, and it will happen.
Yeah. Take your time. I always tell people even here when they come down to our
Yeah.
licensing
Okay,
center.
Ken, that's all of the questions that we have. And Cassandra, that happened because you must have the new update on your phone or on your
Oh,
iPad. So whenever
you
you
know,
make certain hand gestures, the iPhone or the iPad will react.
I don't know anything about this phone. Ask
If
my
you
daughter.
see
What
the
is it?
thumbs up, it will show a thumbs up.
Really?
Yes, if you
Well,
made a
thanks for
heart with
telling
your
me.
hand, it'll show a heart.
Thanks for telling me, because I didn't know.
Try it.
I had no idea.
Give us a thumbs up, Cassandra. Give us a thumbs up.
See, I don't know what it is. Is that?
Ah.
I don't know.
Well, thank you, Cassandra. And thank
Thanks.
you all of our attendees for joining us today's Empower Hour. Very, very inspirational. You can watch today's Empower Hour on our YouTube channel by visiting youtube.com/Chicago BACP. For more information on our next Empower Hour, please visit chicago.gov, business education, and I believe we're scheduled for Thursday, January 18th, 2024. So everyone participating today, have a joyous holiday season and a very, very happy new year. Thank you, Cassandra. I look forward to keeping our partnership continuing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.